I don't even know what to call this stage. Is it a hilltop finish? Not really, because it's a flat sprint. It's not a mountain stage, but there's a lot of climbing in it, and certainly pure sprinters wouldn't have a chance. Mads Pedersen, with the yellow jersey after winning yesterday's stage, was the stage favourite, certainly the quickest man on the start list, but Trek didn't help control the breakaway. 5 riders in the break, including Bruno Amaury. It was Bora Hansgrohe with Nico Denz on the front, controlling for Primoz Roglic, and I would say this is probably a Primoz Roglic style stage. He's won many of these over the years. Israel Premier Tech controlling for, I guess, Dylan Turns, but the last 500 meters are flat, so I don't know why they did that. And then in the end, 250 the gap, 27 Ks to go. The sprint run-ins to the base of the climbing starts from all the GC teams, Ineos, Visma Lease Bike, UAE, etc. And here's the longest climb, 7K, 6%. No GC guy is going to be under pressure here. So who's going to pace? And it's Quentin Pacher who lights it up, drops Antonio Tiberi, who's here after doing the Giro d'Italia. Seems to be a step too far for him. Pacher's dropping everybody. Frailer, who's good on these sort of finishes, in good shape. Pedersen, you can see his shoulders rocking and rolling. Carlos Rodriguez is on the wheel. And look at Igor Arrieta. He's been brilliant this season, the Neo-Pro Spaniard on UAE Team Emirates. But you can see the pace is hot from Pacher, who's a puncher. Normally, Hugo Page, a versatile sprinter, gone. And eventually, Rodriguez is like, why am I following this second wheel eating more wind? This is not my problem. Ineos don't want to go for the stage. They don't have a good sort of sprinter for the bonus seconds. And Rodriguez does a sensible thing and says, go, Pacher, if you want, someone else wants to take his wheel, they can. And X, they go across, but then more riders lose the wheel. And eventually, this is the most curious thing about this stage. It should be Bora Hansgrohe closing because X are represented. Bora want to go for Roglic. Mads Pedersen, I thought when he did this and started to surge across that he already decided he was going to be dropped, and so he sacrificed himself closing the gap for Ciccone, who's also quite punchy. But he does that, pulls off halfway, and then slides back through the group, but then hangs on the whole rest of this climb, and is there a good way through the next climb. So I don't know why he did that. Ciccone's right there, third wheel, and Pacher keeps pacing the gap now down to 1:35. But there's not another FDJ rider they can send ahead, so it's going to be up to Bora Hansgrohe going for Roglic that we just saw. Sobrero starts to pull really hard, takes another 10 seconds out, but they're not going to catch the breakaway before the end of this climb. Godon, he's a very versatile guy, but it shows it was too hard even for him. And with 1K to go, even though Lebert takes the maximum KOM points in the sprint going over Conker, who attacked early, they still have about a minute, and they get organised really quickly. There's a 5-6K plateau where the peloton, they've taken a lot out on the uphill section, but they lose a bit of their oomph. Verona's pacing. He only does a couple of pulls, is on the radio, and then they leave it to X, who are going for Magnus Cort. Visma moving up with Lemon for Koos and Jorgensen on the left-hand side. The last major climb, 3.5 Ks or so, about 6.5%, the Col de la Croix-Ladrée. Bruno Amaury attacks. Sweeney, I think it is, leading out Sean Quinn, the new American Natty champ, with that special jersey on his wheel. They've also got Naruka, who's a backup, who's quite fast. He was fast in Eschborn Frankfurt, the young British Neo-Pro, but that pace wasn't good enough. 42 seconds, so behind Amaury. They lost time in the first 1.5K, so Vlasov gets the order to go to the front and to start ripping it on the climb, and that does for Mads Pedersen. That thins this group out. He's in the last 10 wheels at the moment, but that means who will Bora have? Again, there's a 5-6K plateau after this, and Amaury makes it with 13 seconds over the peloton. Which rouleurs are left? It's been so hard on the climbs that if the great climbing big guys like Pedersen are getting dropped, or Madouas, for example, for FDJ, who's there? And Marc Soler, he attacks. Ayuso said he was a bit sick last week, so UAE play the numbers game. Vlasov brings him back. Then again, look, they're all across. There's no chase. 22 seconds. Derek G tries his hand attacking, but then he's also closed down, I think, by... I don't actually know who closed him down. Maybe Vlasov, I think, for the stage, because G's not that relevant for GC. Wellens goes to front, but he wasn't bringing back Amaury either. So Decathlon, Azure Desert, Le Mondial maybe started to believe, but there's one fast man, true fast man left in this peloton for X, Magnus Cort Nielsen. But the stage wind's going up the road. 4Ks left, 32 seconds. Armorel's taken out time again. It's still Bora on the front with Prodomo. One of the decathlons had moved up to start blocking, and Hindley goes to the front. So Bora throwing everything at it. They're two GC. They're elite GC riders, Vlasov and Hindley, they're using to chase, and UnoX haven't taken a pull yet. 20 seconds still with a K to go. Here they go. I think that's Marcus Hulgaard begins to pull in the fog. We're not at high altitude. We're supposed to be coming into summer, but it was foggy conditions. We don't know where the peloton is. 300 to go. The uphill drag does for Armorel. Caught with 160 meters to go. Caught jumps. We can't really see what happened from the normal shot. And I think takes UnoX's first ever World Tour level win. Winning easily as well, by the way. Like bike lengths and bike lengths and bike lengths. And he let it out too, ahead of Roglic and Matteo Jorgensen. So Roglic and Jorgensen also take bonus seconds for GC. Court's not here for GC. Obviously, Ciccone, Lascano, Turns, Naruka, Champussin, Gregoire, Guillaume Martin rounding out the top 10. Here's what the Dane had to say after the stage.
Yeah, joining UnoX for this year, and I didn't have the best start of the season. I struggled a little bit, or I didn't get any big results, and then I had an injury in Tirreno and was out for a long time, and it's amazing to come back and take a stage win here.
Take us through that finish, because it was really touch and go. Bruno Armiai was in the mist, in the fog, and you just caught him.
Yeah, it was out of my control and the team, because I was very much on the limit on this climb. It was going up in steps, and on the steeper parts I couldn't go any faster, and but the team did an amazing job pulling a little bit and also bringing me completely to the front, so I could lose some meters and being at the back of the group when once the steeper parts were done, and they brought me back again and again, and deliver me perfectly in the final.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Tomorrow we have another punchy finish, but who is going to control? Will Trek go for Pedersen? It's a bit high. Will Bora invest again after today? We'll find out tomorrow in the recap. See you then. Ciao.